Today, we embark on a journey into the heart of a family story, one that delicately unspools the complexities of love, trust, and betrayal. At the center of this narrative is Leo, a thoughtful architect who has dedicated his life to creating structures that stand the test of time, both in their physical forms and in the unwavering love he holds for his family. For 18 years, he and his wife Clara have built a comfortable suburban life together, replete with all the small joys and routine moments that knit a family close. Their two daughters, Maya and Chloe, are the heartbeat of their home. At 15, Maya is blossoming into a confident young woman with dreams as vast as the skies. Chloe, at 11, possesses a wild imagination and a spirit that shimmers with curiosity and innocence. Together they represent the fulfillment of their parents' hopes, crafted from love and nurtured with care. However, as stories often reveal, the most beautiful structures can conceal fragile foundations. Lately, Leo has begun to sense a shift in Clara, a woman who has always been meticulously organized and forward-thinking about their family plans. It begins with her sudden insistence on canceling their long-anticipated summer backpacking trip to the Rockies. Her decision feels jarring, especially after all the discussions they had shared over the years about this trip, a journey through wildflower-filled meadows and breathtaking mountain vistas that had been a dream for their family. Clara suggests instead that she needs a solo wellness retreat to recharge her spirit and explore an intriguing business idea she has in mind. The reasoning feels rehearsed, and Leo cannot shake the growing unease that whispers through his thoughts. Clara, usually full of warmth and laughter, now carries an air of guardedness. There is a frenzied energy in her eyes, a hint of something Leo cannot quite put his finger on, yet it fills the room like an unwelcome draft. He tries to dismiss it, but as the days progress he finds himself haunted, not just by Clara's words but by the subtle changes in her demeanor. Long nights see Clara immersed in discussions about Julian, a charismatic tech startup founder and a former university classmate whose company has recently partnered with Clara's firm. The way she talks about Julian, his vision, his energy, elicits a blend of admiration and apprehension within Leo. Deep down, he recognizes the spark of admiration is tinged with something more threatening. She had alluded to Julian years ago, portraying him as a wild card from her past. A fleeting moment, but now it blurs the edges of their present. Despite his instincts screaming at him to investigate, Leo hesitates. He prioritizes trust, a foundation he has cherished for nearly 2 decades with Clara. But as day follows day, the lurking feeling of parameters being pushed and corners being cut grows undeniable. Clara's retreat plans continue, and conversations about Julian multiply. The mention of their partnership with Julian's startup increasingly feels like a veil cloaking something deeper, something potentially perilous. One evening, as the family sits together for dinner, observing the joy of their daughter's chatter fills Leo's heart momentarily, but the shadows of doubt remain within him. He tries to engage Clara, to draw her out from her protective shell, but conversations are met with fleeting smiles and surface-level exchanges. The rich conversations once shared about their dreams, their past, and their joys together seem to fade with every mention of Julian. They become mere echoes against the chaotic noise within the walls of their home. Leo's heart races at the thought of the woman he loves, potentially stepping into waters tangled with deceit. As Clara retreats behind her wall of motivational posters and business ideas, Leo gradually feels himself turning into a shadow of the man he once was, filled with doubts, speculations, and a creeping belief that he must confront this unease. It is a feeling he never associated with love, yet here it is, solid and heavy. Eventually, unable to bear the weight of his suspicions any longer, Leo's world shifts violently when he stumbles upon a cache of messages and photos on a shared family tablet, an encounter born not from malice, but from an overwhelming need for clarity. His fingers twitch nervously as he scrolls through the texts, grasping at the threads of their life together. The images reveal an intimacy he never expected, one that breathes hints of a rekindled romance woven back into Clara's life. It becomes evident that Clara's adventure toward personal growth has been unfolding long before this so-called wellness retreat was even a spark in her mind. The reality crashes down as Leo uncovers Clara's relationship with Julian has burgeoned into something that feels unforgiving. Leo's heart aches not just for their family, but for the years spent nurturing a bond that now looms over him like a disfigured shadow. The dreams they had once shared devolve into a series of questions that echo with uncertainty. The moment is bitter. The revelation is both paralyzing and clarifying. Clara's words of the past tumble through his mind, reframing every moment he thought he knew. In the midst of this whirlwind, Leo is caught in a profound realization that their relationship, once a vibrant tapestry woven with love, may now bear the heavy fingers of deceit, unraveling thread by thread. For Leo, the path forward lies cloaked in shadows, but he knows he must face the truth, no matter how painful it may become. As dawn breaks over their suburban life, he steels himself for what is to come, knowing deeply that the power of love and betrayal has only just begun to unveil its harrowing journey. We step into the quiet of an ordinary evening, where the familiar rhythms of family life create an atmosphere of comfort, a stark contrast to the emotional turmoil building beneath the surface. In the modest kitchen of their suburban home, the aroma of a simple dinner lingers, curling around the family's hopes of connection and togetherness. Yet tonight feels different. Leo senses an unsettling tension in the air that threatens to unravel everything he has known and cherished for 18 years. Clara enters the room, her face adorned with a mask of casual indifference. She tries to dissipate the weight between them, but her eyes betray her. A flicker of anxiety dances behind those usually warm, inviting eyes. As Leo watches her, a torrent of thoughts cascades through his mind. With every passing moment, he strategizes about how to navigate this minefield, each step weighted with the burden of unspoken words. As the girls settle into their dinners, laughter emanates from them. But Leo finds himself increasingly detached from the moment. He has unearthed fragments of truth that feel unbearable. Clara's affair with Julian, the reckless flame that burned long before the notion of a wellness retreat took shape. Leo swallows hard. Knowing he must confront Clara, he realizes that avoidance is no longer an option, and the escalation of his heart rate mirrors the urgency of the moment. He gently sets down his fork, steadying himself before he speaks. "Clara," he begins, his voice even but heavy with emotion, "we need to talk." Clara's gaze flickers, and for a moment the sliver of vulnerability is palpable as she focuses on Leo. There is a pause, a moment that stretches thin with anticipation. "What is it?" she asks, her voice steady though he believes it does not hold her true sentiment. Leo takes a breath, resolved to keep the conversation calm and composed. "You have been pulling away from us, from the family. I want to know why." As the words leave his mouth, a silent tension weaves through the dining table, challenging all illusions of normalcy. Clara fidgets, pulling at the sleeves of her sweater as though they can shield her from the weight of his inquiry. It is in these seconds that frozen memories of love and connection flash behind Leo's eyes, moments of hope intersected by uncertainty. He recalls the laughter that defined their early years, the shared dreams about family adventures, and the way Clara always spoke about building a life together. But tonight, uncertainty reigns. Clara leans back, her eyes assessing the room. "What do you mean by that?" she replies, keeping her tone light, masking the reality that has unfolded. Leo brushes away the subtle challenges in her question, pressing further. "This retreat, this change, something feels off, Clara. I thought we were going on a family trip together, a chance to bond. Now it feels like you want to go somewhere else entirely." His tone is patient, but the truth behind his words bursts forth like a dam collapsing under too much pressure. She scoffs lightly, as if to dismiss his apprehension. "It is just a retreat, Leo. I need to focus on myself for a change. I thought you would understand." Leo steps, heart quickens, recognizing the evasiveness in her words. "And what exactly are you focusing on? This rejuvenation, or a temporary escape with Julian?" The air in the room thickens with the unsaid, and Clara's gaze flits away as she grapples with the gravity of the confrontation. There is a growing tension that simmers just beneath the surface, and Leo can feel it. "You were always so organized, Clara, and now you are talking about redefining our partnership?" he asks, fear creeping into his voice. In that moment, a flicker of something dark passes through Clara's eyes, and Leo instinctively knows he has hit the mark. What does that even mean? He presses, gripping the table until his knuckles whiten. As the weight of the conversation burdens the air, Clara attempts to reframe the narrative. She leans forward, her voice softening as she speaks. "Leo, it is about personal growth, finding what I need. It is not about you or the girls. It is something I must do." You must understand that. But Leo shakes his head, his resolve hardening against the wave of emotions washing over him. You are talking about an open separation, Clara. Is that really what you want? Because I saw the message, the text between you and Julian. The moment hangs precariously between them. Clara Sip's eyes widen in barely contained shock, an expression too raw to mask and evidence of the truth blooming in the heated silence. I know everything. The connection you had with him back in college, and how you have rekindled it, he states, his voice unwavering. Memories of the past entwine with the present, spinning a tapestry that Leo forces Clara to see through an honest lens. You are using this retreat as a smokescreen, aren't you? Just to allow your hunger for excitement to flourish. Stunned silence fills the space between them. Leo can sense the world crashing around Clara as realization graces her face, and in that split second the pieces fall into place. Leo, I never meant for it to become this, she stutters. But Leo will not let her escape the scrutiny of accountability so easily. How long has this been going on, Clara? There is no pretending left. Clara begins to crumble, tears blooming in her eyes as she trembles under the weight of her own deception. I thought I could find happiness again. He promised me a different lifestyle, one full of passion and adventure. It is too late for excuses, Leo proclaims, raw emotion lacing his voice. He feels the abyss yawning before them, the enormity of what lies ahead threatening to engulf them both. I am done with this, and I will file for divorce tomorrow. The words dry up in the air, heavy and somber, leaving Clara speechless. The daughters, Maya and Chloe, overhear the hushed yet fervent conversation, their innocent minds struggling to grasp the significance of the moment. Gathered in the hallway, they instinctively sidle toward their father, seeking shelter in his steadiness. Children are often the silent watchers, and in this case they are poignant bearers of the truth. Clara's silence is deafening, revealing a long-buried complexity of emotions, sorrow, regret, and an undeniable consequence of her choices. Leo feels their daughter's presence and resolves to shield them from the unraveling chaos that lies in the space of betrayal. Perhaps he cannot undo the years that brought them to this moment, but he can hold firm against the tides of deception that threaten to flood their lives. Clara's voice breaks through her implications of innocence. Leo, please, we can work through this. Just give me a moment to explain, she pleads, her soft voice laced with desperation. But Leo knows the gravity of her intentions, honed from pain and disappointment. There is nothing left to work through. With those final words, the fabric of family loyalty frays, unraveling in each other's gaze, an unbearable truth weighs heavily on both parents, one anchored in responsibility and the other in desire. Tonight is merely the end of what they once envisioned, but rather the start of a new reality, a step into the unknown. As Leo stands centered and undeterred, he reaches out for his daughters, determined to protect their fragile world from ever-encroaching heartbreak. The weight of truth settles upon Clara's shoulders. In the painful quiet that follows, they all must confront the haunting silence left in the aftermath of betrayal, redefining who they are and how they will continue to navigate their new paths alone. Tonight marks a painful transition, one where love and loyalty have collided with harsh reality, forcing them all to face what comes next in the shape of hard truths and painful choices. The surprising clarity of Leo's decision reverberates through the quiet of the cabin retreat he has driven his daughters to, a sanctuary nestled deep within the towering trees of the redwood forests. The air thickens with unspoken words, the lingering aura of chaos from the suburban home, having vanished into the solitude of nature. The world outside feels beautifully uncomplicated, a stark contrast to the emotional labyrinth they have left behind. As Leo unloads the bags from the car, Maya and Chloe watch him with wide, questioning eyes. They have always looked to him as their steady anchor. And now, in this swirling storm of familial discord, his resolve has transformed into a silent promise of protection. They are here to find solace, perhaps a semblance of normalcy amongst the ancient giants that cradle them in their embrace. The retreat belongs to Leo's old friend, Ben, a former park ranger who has cultivated a life immersed in nature's tranquility. Upon hearing about Leo's distress, Ben welcomed him and his daughters with open arms, offering them a private cabin. The rustic charm of the space, a cozy living area complete with a wood-burning stove, a small kitchenette, and nestled against a backdrop of towering redwoods, provides a soothing balm for their wounded spirits. It is a place free from the complexities of adult relationships, the chaos of betrayal, and the stinging reality of Clara's decisions. In the following days, they embrace a new routine that involves hiking along winding trails, kayaking on the serene lake, and gathering around campfires beneath a tapestry of stars. Each laughter-filled moment serves as a welcome distraction from the turbulence that led them here. Leo takes immense comfort in his daughter's company. Their joy becomes a shared refuge against the tumult of the past few days. Ben, sensing the need for grounding and support, introduces Leo to his cousin, Elena, a highly respected family law attorney specializing in complex divorce cases. Elena makes her way to the retreat, bringing a sense of professionalism blended with warmth. In the forgiving space of the cabin, they discuss the legal intricacies of divorce with a strong focus on parental responsibility. Leo's primary concern remains safeguarding Maya and Chloe's emotional stability. Elena, it is so overwhelming to think about what lies ahead, Leo confesses, running a hand through his hair, tracing the lines of worry etched across his forehead. I just want to protect them. Elena nods, understanding the weight of his predicament. Your instincts are right. Children are incredibly resilient, but they are also attuned to the emotional ebbs and flows of their parents. They will need you to provide stability during this transition, Leo. Those words resonate with Leo, reinforcing his commitment to prioritize their well-being above all else. The cabin fills with the soft whispers of the towering trees outside, and the family finds momentary solace amid the quiet that surrounds them. As the 4th of July approaches, Leo organizes a small celebration to create a sense of continuity and tradition. They gather around a campfire, roasting marshmallows while stars twinkle overhead. The familiar warmth of a holiday, once filled with family barbecues and laughter, now shifts within a new dynamic. Still, as Maya shares stories and Chloe bursts into laughter, Leo finds the thread of hope that will guide them through this new life they are crafting. Amid the flickering flames, they share their dreams for the future, each daughter vying for her turn to express her aspirations. Maya talks about wanting to travel the world to harness the adventurous spirit of the Rockies they would have explored as a family. Chloe admits, dreamily, she wants to work with animals someday, maybe even become a veterinarian. Listening to their hopes, Leo feels the weight of grief dissipate for a moment, replaced by a flicker of pride. Yet a lingering shadow of heartache dances in the corners of their smiles. The absence of Clara looms like an ethereal presence, and Leo cannot dismiss the feeling of loss that will forever conjoin their divided family. In the depths of it all, he senses Clara's chaotic energy still resonating within him, a painful reminder of the love that once was, now tangled in betrayal and deceit. Across the miles, Clara grapples with her own uncomfortable truths. Reeling from Leo's decision, she finds herself lost in a haze of confusion and regret. Her vision of freedom and personal growth now distorts under the harsh light of reality, her plans for an open separation disintegrating like the smoke from her fading dreams. Alone in her parents' home, she feels the walls close in, her childhood sanctuary now a prison echoed by regret and isolation. Desperation leads Clara to reach out to Julian, but the lightness of her intentions quickly shatters against a wall of his indifference. Julian, sensing the storm brewing, advises her to reconsider her choices. It could hurt my business if this blows up in the public eye, Clara, he concedes, echoing his own concerns for reputation over genuine care for her well-being. His abrupt dismissal, a reminder of her misjudgment, echoes through their conversations like a haunting refrain. In her solitude, Clara finds herself searching for connection, initially reaching out to her parents, then to Leo's family, but silence envelops her. The loneliness swells as she recognizes that the bridges she had once taken for granted are now reduced to mere charcoal. She learns from Leo's father that Leo has acted decisively, and Clara's pleas for understanding reach only deaf ears. Each cold response reinforces her growing realization that she has forged a path of isolation through her own actions. Despondency sets in as Clara confronts lingering doubts, those shadows of the life she once cherished and the home she has left behind. The deeper she sinks into her choices, the more she faces the cold truth that her relationship with Julian was precarious at best. The overwhelming burden of regret weighs heavily on her, the cost of self-deception becoming starkly apparent. She recalls the years filled with family gatherings and loving laughter, the joyous chaos of raising daughters so full of life, now shattered like fragile glass. The life she envisioned is slipping through her fingers, and the dreams she had pursued now feel like a painful ghost, haunting the halls of her heart. Outside, aware that life continues without her, Clara feels the coolness of impending change looming on the horizon. The fractured pieces of her world, the possibilities that beckoned her to sketch out a new destiny, now circle around her like vultures, stripping her of agency. As the reality of her decisions solidifies, she is forced to confront the heavy silence they have left in her life. Back at the cabin retreat, surrounded by trees that have withstood the test of time, Leo feels a renewed strength blossoming. He balances the dance of grief and hope, rededicating his love and attention to the daughters he cherishes. In their laughter, in their dreams, he finds the essence of his family still intact, albeit newly redefined. And as they forge ahead, step by step, Leo remains resolute, navigating a complex world where love and loss intertwine. The echoes of Clara's betrayal do not define them. Instead, each moment they share shapes their new narrative, one filled with resilience, hope, and the unbreakable bond of fatherly love. In the aftermath of turmoil, Leo and his daughters find themselves nestled away in a serene corner of the redwood forests, their sanctuary away from the chaos of their suburban home. The majestic trees stand like sentinels, their ancient trunks speaking of resilience and stability, a stark contrast to the emotional tempest that has raged in Leo's life. As morning sunlight filters through the leaves, casting intricate shadows around the cozy cabin, Leo is struck by a sense of calm he had thought lost forever. This retreat, generously offered by his old friend Ben, feels like more than just a hideaway. It is a space for healing, for reflection, and for nurturing the bond he shares with Maya and Chloe. They embark on their days with a quiet routine, infused with moments of lightheartedness and connection that remind them of their family's strength. Each morning begins with the soft sounds of birds chirping, coaxing them from sleep. Leo prepares breakfast, a simple but warm meal filled with the smell of freshly sizzled eggs and buttered toast. Maya and Chloe, still half awake, shuffle into the kitchen, their hair tousled and eyes heavy with drowsiness. Laughter fills the air as they attempt to engage in playful banter that feels like a return to the innocence they once enjoyed together. Leo suddenly flashes back to the numerous comic moments during family breakfasts, those ritualistic Saturday mornings filled with giggling and sharing the latest schoolyard stories. "Did you know that there are actually ducks in the lake?" Chloe asks, her curiosity brightening her expression. As Maya rolls her eyes, a typical teenage reaction, she responds with a smirk, "Well, I hope they do not quack all night. I need my beauty sleep." With simple interactions like these, Leo feels a renewed sense of purpose filling the aching void where despair had taken root. It serves as a gentle reminder that, despite the chaos of Clara's choices, he and his daughters continue to have each other. In the heart of this retreat, Leo notices how nature acts as an unobtrusive therapist. Each day, they hike along scenic trails, the lush greenery enveloping them like a comforting embrace. The girls, initially hesitant, gradually open up as they explore the beauty around them. The towering redwoods loom majestically over them, echoing their emotional journey, standing tall and unyielding amidst storms. Each footfall against the earth not only produces a rhythm, but also strengthens the fragile hope blooming in Leo's chest. On most afternoons, they kayak on the nearby serene lake, where the sunlight dances on the water's surface. Leo watches as Chloe shies away from a jump into the water, but eventually finds the courage to leap, her bravery catalyzed by Maya's encouragement and cheers. It is a moment of pure, unfiltered joy, and for Leo, witnessing the love and support between his daughters reaffirms his confidence that they will emerge from this ordeal stronger together. One evening, as the sun surrenders to the horizon, painting the sky with hues of pink and orange, Ben pays a visit. He brings with him warmth and empathy, and it is evident he is not just checking in to see how his friend is faring. He is an anchor in this tumultuous sea of change. In their candid conversation, Leo opens up about his worries concerning the divorce and the impact on Maya and Chloe. "Leo, it is okay to be afraid, but remember that your strength is the foundation for their resilience," Ben reassures him. "You are navigating uncharted waters, but the way you lead them with love is what matters most." This sentiment resonates deeply within Leo, and it further solidifies his resolve to protect his daughters during this challenging transition. He feels empowered as the protector, the steadfast rock against the crashing waves of heartache that Clara's choices have caused. With the support of Ben and the love he shares with his daughters, the future does not seem so daunting after all. As the 4th of July approaches, Leo decides to hold a small celebration. It is an opportunity not only to honor the nation's independence, but also to embrace their newfound bond as a family such as it is now. They gather around a crackling campfire, roasting marshmallows over the glowing embers, creating s'mores filled with sweet laughter and memories. The essence of tradition which Clara once meticulously curated now takes on new forms, blending joy with the strength of resilience. Maya, can you believe we are actually camping? I thought we would be in the Rockies, Chloe says with a grin, wrapping her arms around her marshmallow-filled creation. Maya bites into her s'more, chocolate smeared across her cheek as she smiles. Unexpected adventures can be the best. Who cares about high altitudes when you have a sky full of stars? As laughter fills the air, shadows of heartache fade into the background. During this moment of warmth and familial support, Leo listens intently as his daughters share their dreams and aspirations. Chloe expresses her desire to be a veterinarian, while Maya articulates plans of travel to explore the world. The hopes and dreams shared linger in the air, representing an unspoken promise that despite life's unpredictable nature, they can chart their course together. Yet even amidst this fragile joy, rocky memories linger at the edges. Leo feels the emotional weight that Clara's absence introduces. He recognizes that her chaotic energy still lingers, a bittersweet reminder of what they once shared. They might have built a family together, but now he is left piecing together its fragments into something entirely new and beautiful. In this sensitive space, Leo unexpectedly finds solace. He is able to shift his focus away from Clara's decisions and towards creating a healthy environment for Maya and Chloe, one built on love, understanding, and open dialogue. One of the first steps he takes in this new chapter is to reach out for assistance in navigating the divorce. Ben introduces him to his cousin, Elena, a highly respected family law attorney committed to empowering clients through complex divorce proceedings. Elena's arrival at the cabin brings a mixture of relief and apprehension for Leo. There is a sense that they are preparing to face the forthcoming legal battle, but having someone knowledgeable on board fills him with optimism. They discuss the intricacies of the divorce, and Elena's thoughtful guidance emphasizes the need for parental responsibility, an aspect Leo prioritizes above all else. Ever attentive to his daughter's emotional needs, Leo's focus remains steadfastly on Maya and Chloe's well-being. I want to ensure they do not carry this burden alone. They should feel secure as we transition through this, Leo expresses to Elena during their consultation. Elena, if I want to foster stability for them, what can we implement to prioritize their needs in this situation? Leo queries, the tension behind his words accentuating the love for his daughters. With a robust custody agreement, focusing on your daughter's best interests, you can solidify a supportive framework that prioritizes their emotional and mental health. Elena responds with unwavering assurance. As their discussion continues, Leo feels a newfound strength revitalizing him. The prospect of crafting a future built around the love he shares with his daughters begins to replace the shadows from the past. That evening, back at the campfire, Leo watches his daughters getting lost in the vast expanse of stars above. Their laughter dances with the crackling flames, and in that moment he allows the warmth of hope to embrace his apprehensions. Although the road ahead is steep and riddled with obstacles, they lean on one another, recognizing the shared journey can lead to resilience, healing, and ultimately, joy. Despite the heartache and uncertainty that once clouded his vision, Leo draws strength from the bonds that bind them closer, allowing the flickering flames around them to illuminate the path toward their redefined future, one anchored in love, support, and unwavering unity as a family. The once warm suburban home had transformed into a mere echo of its former self, a haunting reminder of memories now entwined with betrayal. Leo took a deep breath as he stood on the threshold, preparing himself for the confrontation that awaited him inside. The realities of their fractured family loomed large in his mind, and yet it was imperative to establish boundaries for the sake of the girls. "Home sweet home, I suppose," he murmured, half-heartedly. Inside, the atmosphere held an uneasy tension. Clara had been sitting quietly in the living room, her eyes fixed on a blank screen, looking as if she were merely waiting for the inevitable to collide with her fragile understanding of reality. Leo felt a heavy weight settle in his chest as he began to absorb the emotional distance that had expanded like an insurmountable chasm between them. "Can we talk?" Clara's tone was soft, almost pleading, a stark contrast to the anger Leo felt bubbling beneath his calm exterior. "Sure," he replied, forcing himself to keep his voice steady. They sat on opposite ends of the couch, the space between them a metaphor for the emotional rift that had formed in their marriage. Clara's hands fidgeted nervously in her lap as she began to speak. "I know we are in a rough place right now, Leo, but I want you to know how sorry I am. I never intended for any of this to happen." Her soft gaze met his for a fleeting moment before she looked away. "You had every chance to think of us, Clara," Leo countered, his voice firm but devoid of animosity. "Not just you, but us, the girls. This separation, this arrangement you proposed. It feels like you are trying to repackage betrayal as something mature and enlightened, but it is simply not true. You chose to prioritize your feelings over our family. What does that say?" Clara's eyes filled with tears, but Leo remained resolute. He watched as the realization washed over her that the consequences of her choices could no longer be deflected or woven into a narrative of modernity or independence. It was time for both of them to acknowledge the gravity of what lay ahead. "I was weak, Leo. I thought I could manage everything. But this is real now. I love you and the girls deeply. Can we try again? Maybe I can make it up to you." Leo took a moment before responding, steeling himself to confront the painful truth. "You love us, Clara? That love should never have led you to Julian or to a proposed separation. You are trying to sanitize something ugly, and I cannot allow it. I need you to understand that your quest for excitement led to a betrayal that fundamentally altered everything. I cannot go back. I am not only hurt, I am deeply disappointed." Leo paused, observing Clara as she tried to formulate a response, her emotions swirling like the autumn leaves through a brisk wind. "Do you really think that we can repair this, Clara? That a few tear-filled confessions will set everything right? A divorce is like a contract of transparency, and you tore ours apart. I know I messed up, but no cess-buts, no more explanations that veer away from the truth." Leo interjected, his heart aching, yet feeling lighter. "From this point forward, you will receive the official summons for divorce." At that moment, the gravity of the situation fell heavily upon them, like a storm cloud darkening a once bright sky. Clara shuddered, as if struck by the implications of Leo's words. Leo sensed a shift as the weight of reality crashed into her. In that stillness, Maya and Chloe, having overheard the conversation, appeared hesitant at the edge of the hallway, exchanging anxious glances. The boundaries between emotional states were drawn sharply. The girls' lives stood firmly on the edge of disruption. "Papa?" Maya whispered, her voice barely breaking through the silence. "Come here, girls," Leo said softly, gesturing them closer. He needed them to understand not just the turmoil raging between him and Clara, but that their love was paramount and they would emerge as a strong unit regardless of what had transpired. Clara stole a glance at Maya and Chloe, guilt flashing across her face. "I never wanted to hurt you kids. I, I just thought I could manage it all." "Mom, it feels like you chose a stranger over us," Chloe spoke, her innocent question laden with unfiltered pain. "Maya, are you okay?" Leo asked, reaching for her hand, instantly sensing their shared anxiety. "I am all right, Dad," Maya replied, her voice steady despite her trembling hands. "But what happens next?" The gravity settled in heavy silence as Leo squeezed her palm, allowing her strength to merge with his own. "What happens next is that we hold family meetings whenever necessary. We discuss everything, and we do not interject blame. We will navigate through the pain, but we will do so together. This is important for you both, and it is perhaps the greatest gift we can give ourselves in this difficult time." Leo glanced at Clara, who was now visibly shaken, tears streaming down her cheeks, a paradox of vulnerability and regret. Her sobs echoed through the air, and Leo felt a strange mix of pity and resolve. No matter how much he wanted to deny it, Clara had been his partner once, yet the person she had become felt alien. "Clara," he said gently, "recognize that whatever feelings we once had no longer justify continuing this relationship. You need to honor the choices you made as we move forward." I am filing for our divorce because it is necessary now. You need to reflect not just on what you want, but also on the effects your decisions have on others. Clara's regret hung sharply in the air, and Leo left her as he turned back to their daughters. Let us begin anew. A chapter that thrives on the love we three share, for family will always be our anchor. With every word he spoke, Leo felt the encroaching weight of sorrow lighten, replaced by a determination that forged a new path even amidst the ache. He observed the girls as their bond illuminated the darkness of what had transpired. Perhaps Clara had chosen a new course, but Leo would not lead them astray. He would show them the strength that lay within their hearts. The sun highlighted the fading light, filtering through the window, casting vibrant rays around them. In the aftermath of heartbreak, this family began recalibrating their narrative, a shift firmly rooted in mutual commitment to healing, love, and resilience. Thank you for joining me on this emotional journey of two individuals navigating the complexities of love, betrayal, and the strength of family. If you resonated with Leo's story, please consider sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep this conversation going. Do not forget to subscribe for more heartfelt stories as we continue to explore the essence of human experiences, relationships, and the paths we choose. Hit that notification bell as well, so you will never miss an update. Together, we will delve into the intricacies of life's journeys, spanning heartache, joy, and everything in between. Until next time, take care and remember, every ending is merely a new beginning, woven with the threads of love, hope, and community. Peace. Hope and community. Peace. Hope and community. Peace.